Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Phyllis didn't answer him that night. She left the train with her expression unreadable, her heels clicking against steel steps like a countdown timer Kane couldn't see. Kane stayed behind, staring at the door long after it shut. He had laid everything out, his pride, his fear, his offer. Now he had to wait. Waiting had never been his strength. By the next morning he was worse. The dark circles under his eyes had deepened. The slight tremor in his hands hadn't gone unnoticed by Daniel, who watched him from across the table with cautious concern. "You shouldn't be drinking this early," Daniel said quietly. Kane looked down at the untouched glass in front of him. "I'm not," he replied. Daniel leaned back. "You're spiraling. My wife and children disappeared. They're hiding, not missing. Same difference when you do know where." Daniel didn't argue. Because there was no real comfort in technicalities. Kane stood abruptly and paced the length of the train car. "She won't trust me," he muttered, "not after everything." Daniel sighed, then stopped thinking like a businessman and start thinking like a husband. Kane froze. He didn't like that advice. Because it meant facing things without leverage. Without strategy. Without control. And control was the only thing he understood. The phone on the table buzzed. Both men turned. Kane grabbed it. "Phyllis." He answered instantly. "Tell me you've made a decision." "You don't waste time," she said coolly. "Neither do you." There was a pause. "I've been thinking," she said, "about what you said about my kids." Kane didn't interrupt. "Daniel barely looks at me," she continued. "Summer treats me like a cautionary tale. That can change." "Don't oversell hope to me," she snapped lightly. "I invented hope manipulation." Kane allowed the faintest smile. "I'm willing to hear your proposal in full," she said, "in person. Come back to the trains. I'm already on my way." The line went dead. Kane felt something tighten in his chest, not relief, not yet. Possibility. An hour later she entered again, this time without fire in her eyes. Instead she looked thoughtful. Dangerously thoughtful. "Talk," she said. Kane stepped forward. "You surrender Newman Enterprises before Victor regains leverage," he began, "not because you lost, but because you chose something bigger. I don't care about looking nobles. You care about looking respected." She didn't deny it. "You build something new," he continued. "A company with your name, your vision, something your kids can be part of, not a war zone, not a revenge play." Phyllis crossed her arms. "And you bankroll it?" "Yes." "With no hidden clauses?" "Yes." "You walk away from Newman's?" "Yes." "You don't double-cross me?" "No." She tilted her head. "That wasn't convincing." "I won't double-cross you," he repeated, firmer now. Silence. "You look terrified," she said quietly. "I am." "For Lily." "For my family," he corrected. Phyllis studied him for a long moment. "You really think this is your last chance?" Kane swallowed. "Yes." The word came out rough. "I've chosen ambition too many times, I won't do it again." "And you trust me?" she asked. "I trust your love for your children." That landed. Phyllis looked away. Because that was the one thing about her no one could manipulate. She loved fiercely, recklessly, destructively sometimes, but fiercely. "What if I don't surrender?" she asked. "Victor will dismantle you." "You sound certain." "I've underestimated him before, I won't again." She walked slowly around the train car, fingers trailing along polished surfaces. "Newman Enterprises was my victory," she murmured. "It was your battle." She stopped walking. "And you're asking me to give it up?" "I'm asking you to choose something sustainable." Phyllis turned sharply. "You're not just doing this for Lily." Kane didn't respond. "You're doing this because you know the Newman situation will implode." "That too." "You want out before it burns." "Yes." There it was. Honesty. Raw and unfiltered. Phyllis respected that more than polished persuasion. And Daniel, she pressed, what exactly are you doing with him? Kane hesitated. Don't lie. I approached him for perspective. You used him. I involved him. You involved my son in a corporate war. I involved him because he deserves to be in rooms where decisions affect him. Phyllis's jaw tightened. You don't get to decide that. You're right, Kane said quietly, you do. That softened her anger slightly. You're offering me a clean slate, she said slowly. Yes. And in return, I help you stabilize the empire long enough for you to step away. Yes. And then what? Then I focus on bringing Lily home. Phyllis's eyes sharpened. You still don't know where she is. No. Do you think she left because of Newman's? Yes. The answer came without hesitation. And you? He didn't answer immediately. She left because she doesn't trust me to choose her, he admitted finally. Phyllis watched him carefully. That's a hard thing to admit. It's true. The train hummed softly beneath them. Outside, the world carried on, unaware that two stubborn, brilliant, deeply flawed people were negotiating the future of an empire. And if I say yes, Phyllis asked. Then we draft the transition, quietly, before Victor senses weakness. She gave a small, humorless laugh. He always senses weakness. Then we don't show it. Another long silence. Phyllis walked toward the window, staring out at nothing in particular. My dream company, she said softly, I used to think it was about power. And now I think it might be about legacy. Kane didn't speak. Daniel is talented, she continued. Summer is smarter than she pretends to be. I built my empire fighting. Maybe it's time to build something with them. Kane let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. That sounds like a yes. It sounds like a possibility. He stepped closer. I need more than possibility. She turned to face him. You're asking me to give up my crowns. I'm asking you to build your own. Phyllis held his gaze. You will fund whatever I choose. Yes. Even if it costs you. Yes. Even if Lily comes back and hates the deal. He hesitated for the first time. Phyllis caught it instantly. There it is. She won't hate it, he said. You don't know that. I know she wants peace. And you think surrendering Newman brings peace. I think letting go does. Phyllis considered that. Letting go. It wasn't something she excelled at. But maybe winning wasn't either. Finally she exhaled slowly. I'll do it. Kane went still. But, she continued sharply, this is my company, my rules, my leadership, you don't get to control it. I don't want to. You don't get to advise. I won't. You don't get to swoop in later. I won't. She studied his face, searching for deception. She found none. Then we have a deal. Kane extended his hand. Phyllis looked at it. Then shook it. The handshake was firm. Not friendly. But solid. For the first time in weeks, Kane felt something shift inside him. Hope. Not the reckless kind. The cautious kind. This ends well, he said quietly. It better, Phyllis replied, because if this backfires I will not forgive you. He nodded. I won't give you a reason not to. As she left the train once more, there was no countdown in her footsteps. Only resolve. Kane stood alone again. But this time the silence felt different. He picked up his phone and stared at Lily's contact photo. I'm choosing you, he whispered. He didn't know if she would believe him. He didn't know if she would come back. He didn't know if the deal with Phyllis would hold. He only knew one thing. For once he wasn't chasing power. He was chasing redemption. And that might finally be enough.